Chromebooks. They suck. If you've been in school at any point in the past 5 years, you've definitely used one. Maybe even before that. I don't know. But anyway, today we're going to talk about my experience with Chromebooks and then a few stories that I have about them. But to get to that, first we have to go back to when we had to start using Chromebooks. It was March 13th, 2020. The United States went into lockdown because of the virus that I still can't say on YouTube 5 years later. My small brain thought that we had gone on early summer vacation, but unfortunately I was wrong. We still had school just from our own houses. There was the introduction of Google Classroom, and with that, the Chromebooks. The way we got our Chromebooks was we had to go to the school and pick it up, and obviously had to wear masks. A lot of you may have used Zoom, but we used Google Meet. It still sucked. But that's not important. What is important is my initial thought was that we could play games and wait for the Google Meet to end. But introducing goguardian! This website was the bane of my existence for the longest time, and it still kind of is. If your school didn't have this, then first of all, you're really lucky. Second of all, let me explain what it is. goguardian is basically a website for teachers where they have a grid of every student's screen and can block whatever website they want to. So if you couldn't tell already, no games, which meant we could only do work, which is what we're supposed to do anyway. But there were a handful of teachers that would take it way too far. There was this one school year I had where we had to do 40 minutes of IXL a week. So if you don't know what IXL is, it's just like a math-based program. I'm not really going to go into it that deep, but that's not really important. What is important is that there was an hour a day during the school day, which was basically a study hall, but not a single soul wanted to do IXL. So what did the teachers do? She blocked every website known to man on the entire World Wide Web, except IXL. So what did we as students do? We boycotted the Chromebooks! So goguardian was a pain, but there was always a way we could find to play games. It felt like every week we had a new game website. It even got to the point where there was one kid who made a whole file that spread to the whole school within a week. But the IT department is actually full of nerds or something, because they blocked file links somehow, which I didn't even know you could do. So we decided we'd just go back to playing cool math games. So about 5 years after we started using Chromebooks, it was March 2025, and there was this TikTok that was posted, Chromebook durability test. So in this video, it's basically just somebody throwing the Chromebook at the wall in the school bathroom. This video started a trend called the Chromebook challenge, which consists of sticking pencil lead and paper clips into your Chromebook. And what this did was make the Chromebook start smoking out. So obviously kids got in trouble, and I actually had first-hand experience seeing my friends do this. All my friends who did this got in-school suspensions, obviously. And then there became another TikTok of this man saying the F students are the inventors, which also became a trend. And then came the hall passes. The hall passes we needed to make just to go to a locker that was 10 feet away. Now, what I don't understand is about having to ask to use the bathroom in the first place, which is a basic human function which everybody needs to do, hopefully like twice a day at the least. And then the worst part of my school had an extra rule, which you can't leave for the first or last 5 minutes of class. And then there was another rule where you can't be gone for more than 3 minutes. But now putting that aside, I have two personal stories about my Chromebooks. So I've been using Chromebooks for as long as they've been in schools since the virus, that I still can't say. So I obviously have experiences with these Chromebooks. My first story is called Me vs. goguardian. So the first year we had Chromebooks, I had beef with goguardian, but I got lucky. My first Chromebook did not work at all. Like the only thing it could do was turn on and nothing else. So I ended up getting a new one, and this was my first experience with goguardian because the first one just did not work at all. And I didn't like goguardian, so I faked my second Chromebook not working, and it worked. So I had to use my parents' computer until I got a third Chromebook. And I pushed my luck too far, and I decided to turn my volume down and pretend like the audio didn't work. And you know what else didn't work? My trick. The second story is called The Slap. So in school, we could buy insurance on our Chromebooks so that when your Chromebook breaks in school, you don't have to pay because you already have insurance. I'm pretty sure it works like a 3-strike system. So after 3 times, we would have to get insurance again. Luckily, I had insurance. So my Chromebook, the first time, I didn't have to pay for it. But then I got a loaner, which is like an extra Chromebook that the school had for when the Chromebooks break. And then there was some day where I had extra time at the end of class, so I did my homework so that I didn't have to do it at home. But then a kid came up to me and slapped my Chromebook onto the ground, which unsurprisingly broke. And then I didn't get a loaner, so I had to use the same broken Chromebook. And then the screen eventually fell out of the Chromebook, but I still had to use it because it was my only option. I didn't get a fully functioning Chromebook until there was about a week left of school. It was my original Chromebook that broke in the first place. So I ended up having to give it back after only 3 days. So on that note, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. watch my video on the end screen, and have a great rest of your day.